Hello there, Internet. Mogwai here, and I got another MTG arena video for you guys today. Today we're featuring the Drake deck, not the rapper, the dragon. Sorry for that really bad joke. Fuck me. Anyways, Hot Album, I guess you understand the name now, is the deck list right here. It is an Enigma Drake archetype, which has been reinforced by guilds of Ravnica. There we go, with the addition of Crackling Drake and this this cool toy right here in Izzet Parun. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Which are, like I said, very powerful additions to an archetype that already existed prior, but now has become quite prevalent in the metagame. So this deck is originally built around the Enigma Drake. The Enigma Drake is a 3-mana dual color creature, both blue and red, which has 0 attack initially and 4 health or toughness, with the flying keyword and the ability of equaling his power to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. So this is a deck list that tries to thin through your deck and cycle through it and fill up the graveyard with instant and sorcery spells, so you can have very high attack flying drakes that, you know, take down your opponent in a matter of like a couple of hits. And the idea is to utilize the colors of blue and red to provide you with solid removal and the ability to counter spell your opponent as well. So as you can see, I'm running some key cards here. You can tweak this deck several different ways. Like, there's certain cards that could be replaced for others, but there's also some staples for the archetype. Like, for example, Chart a Course. You draw 2 cards and then you discard a card unless you attack with a creature this turn. Generally, you see this card played a lot in aggressive decks that, like for example, mono blue tempo, that try to get the benefit of being able to draw 2 cards for 2 mana because you have an easy time getting an attack off early on in the game. But in this case, we actually want the downside of the effect. We want to discard cards because that way we fill up our cards with instant and sorceries, which empower our drakes, which is our strategy to begin with. We have 3 copies of Dive Down to protect our drakes from removal. We have 4 shocks, 4 ops. Ops is also a staple for this deck, as it enables us to cycle through our deck and again fill the graveyard with instants. Shock is a very powerful cheap spell that enables us to, most of the time we're going to be using it to go face to help the kill with the drakes, you know, be easier. It's, you know, does a lot for 1 mana basically. I have a couple of Warlord's Fury because I like this card a lot. I think it's pretty solid with the drakes. In some niche scenarios, you can give your drakes first strike, which can enable you to get favorable trades against opposing flying units, and it just thins the deck. For 1 mana, you just cycle this card, which is what you want with this build, right? We have a couple of Search for Scantas, which also contributes to the strategy and improves our draws at the same time, and obviously gives us a Scanta Sunken Ruin later down the line, which can give us some very powerful a very powerful resource to search for key cards in the late game. We have 3 copies of Lava Coil, you know, to be able to answer certain threats. We have Discovery, again, same reason as Opt, basically. And we have 3 copies of Ionize. Some decks run Spell Pierce. You know, there's a debate going on. I'm a fan of this card. I like the ability to counter any sort of spell. And I think I do sacrifice a little bit of tempo by not running Spell Pierce, but I do have a tool that can help me deny key plays in the late game, which I think is more viable and reliable. And the fact that it deals 2 damage to the opponent helps push damage, which, you know, that 2 damage can really make the difference. It can get us, you know, it can enable us to get lethal with our drakes a turn earlier, which is the point, right? We have 4 Crackling Drakes and 2, I'm going to call him Parun. My boy Parun. Crackling Drake is basically an Enigma Drake, but for 1 more mana, you get the perk of being able to draw a card when he enters the battlefield. The rest is exactly the same as Enigma Drake, basically. And then you have Parun, which is a very powerful unit. It cannot be countered, so he's kind of like a Carnage Tyrant in that sense. He's not hexproof, though, but he does have the flying keyword and a really powerful passive ability, or reactive, actually, that whenever you draw a card, you deal 1 damage to any target, and whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, you draw a card. So if this guy sticks for just a turn, it's pretty much GG. Like, with all the cycling that we have and all the cheap spells that replace themselves that we have in our hand that also happen to deal damage, potentially, it's very easy to close out a game with Parun if it hits the board. And the fact that it can't be countered, it's really sweet because your opponent has to have specific single target removal to deal with him, and it's just a very, very powerful card in the late game, and also a very easy resource for you to gain card advantage as well. It's just a really cool card, and I think it really spices up this archetype quite a bit, and hopefully I get to showcase off this bad boy in action in this video. But yeah, without further ado, let's get on to some games, and let's try to continue climbing. See you there. Alrighty, let's do this. Let's see if we continue to climb, and we immediately find an opponent. Aggro is our foe. Alrighty, this hand is good enough. We got 2 sources of card draw, and we already have a Drake in hand, and more than enough lands to go by, and we go first. This is a keeper. Alrighty. I feel like my lighting may be giving out a little bit. I think this is the last video that I'll be able to record today, because then all my frames, you know, yeah, the movement is not as slick. I need to get some professional lighting going on, I think. Regardless, we're going to go with an island here, and we're going to call it a turn. We have a Chart a Course and Discovery available to us. It seems we may be facing a token. A token, what's the term for white-green? Well, regardless, we may be facing a token deck. Is it Sensei or... I'm very bad with names. I'm gonna go with Discovery first. I'd like to keep one dive down, honestly. I like to keep one dive down because I am facing a deck that has white, which means that when they have 4 mana, they can play enchantments that can exile my Drakes away, so I want to be able to have an answer for that. As we're going to drop an island here, and we are going to Chart a Course. As we draw 2 cards, and honestly, we can just drop I want to hold on to Shock. In this matchup, it can be pretty reliable. As he goes for Revitalize. Maybe this isn't the token deck then. Maybe it's a more late game control deck. Yep, it seems that's the case. All right. In that case, because he already has enough mana, I'm not going to rush my Crackling Drake. I'm going to wait until I have 5 mana so I can combine it with Dive Down. So for the time being, I'm going to opt. I'm going to Chart a Course. And I'm going to drop... 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, we have 6 mana, which is important. Maybe I should just drop Shock, honestly. Yeah, I miss out on the 2 damage, but I'd rather make sure that I can curve out 100%. I think that's just better. Search for Escanta. All right, we need to start pressuring soon. Okay, so I'm gonna drop the mountain here. I'm gonna go with the Crackling Drake. As we draw into a land, and we're gonna call that a turn. Because now the key thing is we can play Dive Down in case he has some sort of removal for this. He also could have Settle the Wreckage. It's important to take that into consideration. I'm gonna drop the Surf of Falls here. I am going to attack. It seems he has no immediate answer to this, but he may have the board wipe as well, so I can't overcommit here. But I am going to drop you. It gives me more card draw, and I could draw into... Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go Chart a Course here. And, oh yeah, I forgot I don't discard. I kind of want to discard there, but it's fine. Okay, there he has the prevent all combat damage. He could, again, he could have board wipes here. We don't have a way to counter anymore, but yeah, there it is. I don't want to overcommit because of that card, but at the same time, I don't want to slow down. It is a bit of a predicament, but we are gonna drop the, we're gonna drop you. We're gonna go Perun. It's Perun time. Because we do have to dive down. We do have to dive down here. Which means that if he has single target removal, like, you know, Excellence Binding, etc., then we can counter it. Okay, Nexus. So it's a turbo fog deck, it seems. Because we drew a card, we're gonna deal damage to it. Nexus of Fate returns to his hand, to his deck, and he gets an extra turn. Okay, he's still a bit away from getting the getting a Scanta going on. Okay. Hopefully he doesn't have like a full board wipe. Yeah. Yikes. Alright. We got a lot of health to take down, boys. But we can do it. We can do it. We're gonna go Discovery here. And, you know, the train keeps rolling. Let's Surveil. We still have 6 more mana. Let's do things right here. Let's opt. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we can play the Crackling Drake and still have 1 more mana left for the dive down. We go face, and we call that a turn. As you guys can see, I draw a card every time a spell is played. That's just kind of nutty. Okay, so we're gonna start discarding. We're gonna discard you. We're gonna discard you. We're gonna discard you, and we're gonna discard 1 Lava Coil. I mean, he can't transform as Scanta now, which means that he can search for an answer here. And he definitely has the mana to play, since both 2 of these lands are enchanted with Gift of Paradise. So he definitely has the mana to, like... I just hope he doesn't find another Cleasing Nova, because if it's single target removal, I can handle it. Oh, we got him though. Nice. Nice. Again, not overcommitting to the AoE. Like, even if he had a Khaleesi Nova there, we could fight back. Like, we had more Drakes to push forward. Yeah, but you guys saw Peru just putting in the massive work. Holy crap. Especially after all that health that he gained, it did not matter. This is a fun deck. This is a really fun deck to play. I can't lie. Like, these 2 cards, these 2 Drakes, have added a lot to the archetype, especially Peru, because the other one is just like a copy of the Drake, right? But it feels quite rewarding to play. This is in case we want to use the second option of the search. What was the name of the card? Regardless, we're gonna keep this hand. We have Cycling Tools in Opt and Warlord's Fury. And we're facing a pretty aggressive mono red list. Let's see if we can, you know, withstand the early pressure. We do have shocks, and we do have coils. We have all the removal, but we don't have it in hand, so we gotta start opting, and we gotta start fishing for those answers. We already have a dive down in hand, so we can scry that to the bottom. We draw a chart of course, and we draw into a Crackling Drake. We have to set this. We don't want to take 2 life, as we're gonna go for another opt anyways, and we just gotta take this early damage. Honestly, it feels bad, but it's just the way it goes. Let's see if we can survive here. All right. Triple monkey. Triple monkey is kind of scary. All right, and the turn I'm gonna go for opt. He could chain here. No. As much as I like thinning, I need to find my answers here. Like, that's the priority. That is the utmost priority here. 3 cards in hand. I mean, we have to Enigma Drake here, though, right? No, we can always do this. We're gonna chart a course. Seems like search for Scanta is too slow, honestly. Maybe this is too slow, actually. We're taking a lot of damage, though. This is not good. But I didn't want to play a Drake there, because I want to save it for when I can combine it with a dive down. I can try to slow him down that way. But maybe that was the mistake. Maybe I should just start dropping the Drakes, because I'm taking a lot of damage here. And even though I'm down to 11, I'm technically down to 8, because all of these firebrands can go phase easily here. So maybe that was a mistake on my part. Maybe I should have just played the Enigma Drake. Oh boy. Well, that's a top deck if I've ever seen one. The problem is that's not what we want to see right now. Regardless. Oh boy. We've taken too much damage early on. I think it's going to be very hard to stop this. Like, these fanatical firebrands are just pushing too much, and we're going too slow here. I don't think I have any like good AoE clears for like 3/1/1s. I need to like top deck a bunch of yeah, I have to decline. I can't let that risk factor go on, which means that he just gets so much more fuel, and it's looking tough. It's looking rough. I need to send it to the graveyard. I need to try to fish. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We gotta go for the op first. Ah, this may be what I need. It's a little bit too late though, isn't it? I should have tapped the Escanta here. In case I drew into a shock, but yep, it seems like that is gonna be all she wrote. My opponent got too fast of a start, and I can't really prevent this damage at this point. SUG. He just popped the monkeys here. I'm gonna let him do it, but yeah, or you can just shock me. We got mono-redded. Mono-redded. Feels bad. But hey, I don't think... I think my misplay, though, was not playing the Drake. I was a little bit too conservative, and I took too much extra damage. I don't think it ultimately ended up mattering, though. I think he had too much momentum. Maybe this deck could use some AoE. Like, I could try to incorporate something to help me clear board states like that, because that was a lot of pressure. I don't have any islands, but I have to hope I draw into them, because otherwise this is not a bad hand. I have shock in case I'm running into mono red. I can answer the early onslaught with shock, and all I need to do is draw into one island, and we get going. Yep, this seems to be mono red again. So let's see if we can get our revenge. Okay. I want that sweet vengeance. There we go. I'm not gonna go for discovery just yet because I want to have my shock available. So I'm gonna leave both manas open because I want to quite simply shock and opt here. All right, so he's dealing some direct damage, but there's no unit pressure on us, so it's a complete different scenario. We're not nearly as pressured here as we were before. I'm actually gonna take that hit. I don't care. I don't want him to draw. I don't want him to draw more. Okay, so now we opt. We can send this to the bottom since we already have Perrin in hand. We can draw more. And we're preserving this shock as unit removal. We're going to drop another mountain here. And we're going to go for discovery. Discovery. We are going to get ourselves... We do need the island, though. Alright, at least we get rid of that. Okay. Again, we're pressured once more, but we gotta get the ball rolling ourselves. Let's drop the Drake. Just because this draws us a card, but I'd rather combine this with Opt to be able to push more damage here. Ah, damn it, dude. Oh man, the pressure is real. Alright, let's drop that. Oh boy. We have to decline this. We'll give him the card draw, but we cannot afford to take 4 more damage directly to face. Hopefully he doesn't have a Firebrand here. Ah, or that's even worse. Ah, damn, dude. Oh boy. Okay. What if I do this? What if I double down? Okay, so we got 5, 5, 6, 6. We would need 8. We need so much more. If we can discard 2, okay, let's give this a shot. Wait, we can do this, right? We can actually do this. We got this. We got this. We easily got this. And you know what? This may be VM. But that felt good, goddammit! There we go. Oh, nice. Nice. Oh man. That was a GG. That I was like, I think I had to kill him that turn. But that's the power. Like when you have 2 Drakes, the burst potential is real, man. But mono red can be a tough matchup though. I don't know if maybe the deck could use some more AoE cards. Like obviously shock helps quite a bit, and so does lava coil, but when they go wide like that, it can be a bit problematic. I don't know, it's hard to say. In that case, something like Spell Pierce is definitely better than Ionize, I think. I guess mono red specifically, maybe. But I mean, the deck, like, I feel like the deck is pretty solid as it is though, but you can definitely tweak it depending on what matchups you expect. And obviously in a best 2 out of 3 format, you can just add in, you know, more. Like I can't wait for best 2 out of 3 because of, you know, the mono red and the aggro matchups in general, and just because Magic in best 2 out of 3 is just so much better and more interesting. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed some Drake gameplay. I really enjoy this deck and the archetype in general. It's very fun, and it's way more interesting than it was before. Definitely, these 2 new dragons add quite a bit to it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy the video, you could leave a like, because reasons makes me happy. So think about it at least. And that's all I gotta say. Have a soul day, and I'll see you tomorrow.